Oh, get ready for it. Up and down the halls of Twitter. Later on today, you're going to be hearing. Oh, you didn't have it. Oh! She just had it. It was a one-hit wonder, Alondra. Time for Cup of Tech Gumbo. Time to welcome in Haggai Davis. Haggai, welcome back, sir.
Thank you.
Glad to have you back in studio again.
Excited to be back in studio.
The recovery's coming along well?
Coming along very, very well.
Good. We got to start with Twitter. There's no way we don't start with Twitter. Yeah, Elon Musk is taking over Twitter. He's about to fire everybody. He fired me like yesterday. Fired you the day before that. No, he's okay. How big of a bloodbath is this going to be? How Game of Thrones is Elon Musk going to go today?
Well, it kind of depends, because first thing he did was he started telling everybody, okay, print out the last 30 days worth of code you've created. And as people start printing out reams and reams of lines of code, then they started saying, wait, no, don't do that. Stop printing and go shred everything, because, oh, by the way, they were printing out all of the code that is Twitter.
Right.
And you don't want all of that available out there floating around, even on paper kind of thing. So Elon has made a few interesting decisions here in the first now 7 days that he has owned Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be interesting to see what he does, how many people he decides to keep. He has said he wants to go from approximately 7,500 employees to no more than 3,000.
Beautiful.
But he has also talked about bringing back Vine.
We'll get to that in a minute.
Where those people may need to just be repositioned. Mm-hmm. So he may not actually lay off everybody that he's been talking about.
Okay.
So it just, he's trying to get everyone, living in fear, I guess, that, hey, you better get off your butt and start doing something instead of just coasting like you've been doing. Because in his opinion, Twitter has just been muddling along, not trying to innovate.
It has, and it's been decreasing in relevance for some time now. Now, there's the old school social media people like myself who really, really dig Twitter still, because it is what it has always been what it's promised. Short,
absolutely,
to the point, but primarily text. If you're clicking through to video, that's a big day, because everything is on a click-through basis, not a straight feed to you like Instagram would be.
Absolutely.
Where you're on Instagram, you're expecting pictures with video, and the video is going to automatically start. With Twitter, it's a click-through to get the video. So, or at least a click on to activate it. So as Twitter has remained as true as it can be to what it was in original purpose was, it has fallen to the wayside in terms of how social media users use social media.
So I love Twitter. I've been on Twitter since 2008, and just find it just so interesting the way information flows across it so quickly,
mm-hmm.
and how you can get so much out of such small little bites, such small samples of information.
Yes.
And that's what has been so beautiful about Twitter since day one.
Mm-hmm.
And to come in with a big meat cleaver and just start whacking people just to say we're gonna cut payroll is kind of, I don't understand the philosophy here, unless in his mind they're just so bloated and I don't know. I'm okay. Struggling as to why you would do this.
Well, considering the check you had to cut, I would imagine you start by cutting as many expenses as you possibly can. You get as lean as possible, and then you regrow back from that.
Yeah, I get that. But if you're cutting just for cutting's sake,
mm-hmm.
and you put so many of your valuable employees you put them in a situation where they don't want to be around anymore. Now you're starting to lose assets and not just run off payroll. And that's where I don't want him to go in and damage Twitter before he gets lean enough to run.
Before we get to the Vine part, we probably won't get to the Vine part until after this, okay? Or in the next segment, I should say. But from a tech standpoint, how much code is still needed? How much does it take to maintain where Twitter is? Like, Twitter is already built. How much is needed on a day-to-day basis to keep it where it's at?
That's a great question, and I don't really know how much is new code being generated. I guess it gets back to what new things are they trying to do, and how much content moderation are some of these people doing. I mean, how much are they reviewing of things? And is it everybody just doing code, or is there actual work? I mean, it's not like they built the thing and now it's just running all by itself. They've got to do something to where they got to justify themselves.
Okay, yes, they do. Well, if you have to justify yourself, if you're explaining, you're losing, right? Like, if you have to justify your salary could probably get cut. Now, the reason I asked the question is I think of this the same way I would think of construction. Like, think of East Baton Rouge Parish libraries, right? They have one budget, then they build out Goodwood, and then they build out, many other branches of the library, and they're all glorious, and we want our libraries to be great. But for them to have the same budget for maintenance that they had for construction is ridiculous. That's how I'm thinking Elon is thinking right now. To have the same budget for maintenance that you had for construction is ridiculous.
And, not being privy to the inner workings and how much money is
if they had just printed a few more pages.
Yeah, that would have been, interesting to see. But now that he's fired the chief executives and he ran off the entire board of directors, and so it is a committee of one who's making all of these decisions.
Yes.
And well, he has started bringing some people from SpaceX over and some people from Tesla over.
Yep.
Because in running a rocket company and running a car company is just like running a social media platform, isn't it?
Running a business is running a business, though, right?
No, not really, because these are not similar kinds of things. I mean, business is business, but when you're relying on math and physics to build a rocket, there's no laws of physics or laws of social media as to how to keep a social media platform going.
Okay. So many more questions. I think we've opened more questions than we've answered in this first segment. So let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to dive into is it possible that Vine is coming back? We're going to dive into what kind of similarities are there between the two and a whole lot more. Let's take a quick break. Coming back, Cup of Tech Gumbo. Okay. There's another part of this that I want to get into as well, and that is
the devaluing of Facebook.
No, that is the
of the Twitter port.
No, hang on. That is the possibility that I'm not remembering the right word.
Do you want to talk about the blue check?
We can talk about that too.
Hey, Dylan.
Hey, what's up?
Jason asked, is Elon a grinder boss or a narcissist boss? I think he's both.
Absolutely.
Did you see the Patty G segment yesterday?
No, I didn't. I got distracted yesterday. I actually had to work.
Oh my goodness.
I'm not, and Facebook is not. I don't go to Facebook very often, so I don't see your show as much anymore as when it was on YouTube.
What? I'm sorry, say again?
Because I try to avoid Facebook as much as I can nowadays. I don't see the show anymore as much as I do as when it was on YouTube.
Oh, wait, hang on. I'm sorry. Shoot. Did the right cart numbers pop in? Okay, let me get on that. I'm sorry.
Oh, it just switched as soon as I put it in Adobe. Yeah.
Okay. Wow, that was quick turnaround because I just hit enter. I'm sorry, we've been having traffic problems and I didn't get
No, it's okay.
the right thing. Ah, shoot. I'm forgetting there's a word that means you want to see destruction and chaos. I'm not remembering the name of the word. I'm not remembering the word itself. No, that's cool.
Calamity, cataclysm, catastrophe.
No, those all mean destruction or chaos. I'll mean the want for it, the desire. It starts with an E. No, not evil. I keep wanting to say entropy, but that's not it. All right, two more to go. Two more to go, and then I'll have it finished for the morning. Is that the last one? All right. All good. We're set. Okay. There's a word that means you want to see destruction. You have a I'm not going to come up with it. My brain's just not working. 652 Talk 1073 FM, WBRP, mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along, 71 degrees in downtown Baton Rouge. CBS World News Roundup coming your way 7.5 minutes from right now, which gives us exactly 7.5 minutes to continue our conversation about Twitter. It's Cup of Tech Gumbo with Haggai Davis in studio. All right. There's a word, Haggai, and my brain is just not helping me this morning. There's a word that means you have a want to watch the world burn. You have a want for destruction and chaos. I'm wondering with Elon Musk right now, who wanted to buy Twitter and then very publicly did not want to buy Twitter and then was forced into a position to have to buy Twitter, is now saying, okay, fine, I want out of this deal. I'm going to destroy this thing from within because you wouldn't let me out of this deal.
I don't think that he really wants to do that. I think because he enjoys Twitter too much,
Mm-hmm.
and so for him to drop $44 billion, not all of which was his own money.
Right.
Thank you, Saudis. He wants to have this playground, this Twitter that he can sit there and troll people on. He's been having so much fun poking, different people who are complaining about the $8 blue check mark right now.
Is it 8 or is it 20?
Well, initially it was 20, and then Stephen King, put out a tweet and said that's too much money, and so then Elon Musk said, "Oh, okay, how about 8?"
I'm down. I want to see that happen. And the reason I want to see that happen is I want to see how many people are so celebrity obsessed that they would pay $1, much less 20. In fact, I wish you would keep it at 20. It would show you who is more obsessed with clout versus content.
But so the blue checks are a good thing because now you're really verified. If you're going to verify who these people really are, I mean, the problem is there's a lot of blue checks that are bots.
Yes,
and so if you can get away from all of the bots,
right,
then it's a good thing. That's part of my problem with all this. When, I'm not going to drop $8 a month just to have a blue check next to my Twitter.
Well, the other question is, can it open up to everybody at that point?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, in order to have a blue check mark, you don't get to decide, I want a blue check mark. Twitter decides for you, you are worthy of a blue check mark.
Well, even right now, if you wanted a blue check mark, you still had to apply for it. You didn't just because you're some celebrity that you got a blue check mark. You had to put in, some.
You had to be deemed worthy.
Yes.
Which, to me, is part of the whole problem with social media. Now, how do you walk that line between actually being verified and being a bot? Yeah, that's a better question or a different question. But we can't get away from the idea that it is a hierarchy. It is a they're better than you scenario.
Well, celebrities already think that they're better than you, so
let's reinforce that belief.
Well, no, but I would rather know that the blue check mark has been verified, and because they're going to actually have to do some verification as to if you're wanting to keep your blue check mark, so that you know who Coach K is, and it's not just some random other, person who's imitating to be Coach K.
Right.
That part I would rather know. Okay, this is the real Coach Krzyzewski who's tweeting, as opposed to just somebody who I don't know is being an idiot.
So I saw Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez ripping on the $8 thing.
Yes,
and Elon's response was beautiful. I mean, he basically dismissed her and then said, "Now pay me $8."
And then he also put out some pictures of her $58 sweatshirts that she's selling on her website.
Yeah, I know.
So if you can sell a $58 website, you can afford $8 for a blue check.
You absolutely can. But it's where do you value that blue check mark at that point? And that is going to determine the psychology behind a lot of this, which I'm really looking forward to. There is going to be so much chaos over the next few months. The firings are probably going to be the minimum. When you look at the grand scope of how we consume and what our mindset is within consuming social media, the firings are a drop in the bucket, man. Elon is going to pull back layers of the onion that tell us things about ourselves unintentionally. I don't think he has the wherewithal to know what he's going to discover about us, but a lot is about to be discovered.
I think what is going to happen over there is going to be very, very fascinating to watch. Get your popcorn out, because this is going to be a fun ride, fun thriller movie to go through. Because the things that's going to come out of there, it's going to be chaos. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be, what the hell were you thinking?
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to all of that, and that may happen all in the same day, multiple days in a row.
Absolutely. Rome will burn over and over and over again. Last one before we get you out of here. We're going to talk about whatever else is on the show this weekend as well. But the last question I have is Vine going to come back?
Well, so Twitter bought Vine back in 2012.
Yeah.
And
shut it down 5 years later.
Shut it down in 2017 because TikTok hadn't come out yet.
Right.
And so Elon's sitting there going, well, I can do Vine better than Facebook can do Reels, so we can have an alternative to TikTok. The problem is Elon is also trying to sell Tesla cars in China, so he can't go making the Chinese too upset by trying to do damage to TikTok.
I worry about Vine coming back because as every other short form video platform is out there, they've all gone to anger and vitriol and politics. Vine was pure simplicity, pure stupidity, pure clock out and just enjoy. Vine was everything TikTok is supposed to be, But then too many grown-ups got involved with TikTok, and it's gone down an angry path.
And you've got people all over Washington, D.C. wanting to pull the plug on TikTok as well.
Because of China. All right, what else is coming up on the show this week?
Oh, we're going to talk a little bit about Facebook. We're going to talk about SpaceX. How if you have a private jet and you want to get Starlink, it's going to cost you $150,000 to get it set up, and then $12,000 a month.
Oh,
but if you got a Gulfstream 4, why not?
that and $8 will get you a blue check mark.
And to get a blue check mark.
He's Haggai Davis. You get a full serving of Tech Gumbo Saturday and Sunday at 4 right here on Talk 107.3 FM. And, of course, Haggai joins us every Friday this time. Appreciate you, man.
Absolutely.
All right, we got to check CBS News. Haggai's going to stick around during news real quick. We got 2 more things to talk about on Facebook. On air, here comes the CBS World News Roundup. You had a story in here that I wanted to get to, but I think it's too inside baseball, but there's no way I don't at least talk about it. I'm hoping the Truth Social thing comes back next week, but Facebook used to be a big tech giant. Now Meta isn't even in the top 20 most valuable U.S. companies.
They've lost 75% of the value.
Yes, but they were overvalued.
Oh, way overvalued.
So,
but they were north of $1 trillion in valuation.
Right.
Now they're $250 million in valuation.
250 million down from $1 trillion.
250 billion.
Billion, there you go.
Yeah, 250 billion.
So my question is not where they stack up against other companies, where do they stack up against other social media platforms? Because Facebook is rallying right now.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know how. I mean, people are not jumping on Facebook. If you're
from a new user standpoint, no. But watch the daily user daily activity.
If you're under 40 years old, you are not on Facebook. And if you're between 20 and 40, you look at Instagram occasionally. You've left their platforms. The only thing that Facebook has, that Meta has, is this metaverse. Whenever they release that, or you go out and buy your $1,500 virtual reality goggles, that's the only thing that's going to save Facebook. They are going down a sewage hole fast.
We've been paying super duper attention to our Facebook lately, and the overall numbers, the overall daily use, and the number of Gen Z who is just adding accounts just to add accounts, and they start off by being not active with them, and then it's a slow build from there. Don't be shocked if, say, 6 months from now, Facebook looks like will have that drop will have stopped. Now they're not getting back up to a $1 trillion valuation by any stretch or value.
Well, that was just the stock market. Just everybody getting
Right.
way too excited about the stock market.
But my thing is, when it comes to what platforms are still being useful, what's the better way to put this? They saw their peak, they saw their valley, and now they're getting to a point where they're closer to those ebbs and flows are not going to be as great.
Are your kids is your oldest on Facebook?
She is.
Really?
Yes.
And her friends are on Facebook?
They are. Now, they're not active daily users. They're not regular daily users. But they keep checking in a little bit more and a little bit more.
See, that's so unique.
You think?
The everything that I read, they're just, if you're under 40, why are you on Facebook?
So, you know how Facebook gives you the friend suggestions? More and more and more, it's my friends' kids that are my suggestions for friends.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. It is a weird turn of events.
And I don't know if that's just unique and local to you or what, but I don't get any of that.
So my daughter's favorite is TikTok, followed by Instagram. Facebook is far enough. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. Snapchat, but that's personal. It's not overall social, right? Snapchat followed by TikTok, followed by Instagram. But when you have the multi-platform usage that you have by posting to Instagram Reels and have them automatically post back to your Facebook, you're getting multi-platform usage. So, and she's not thinking in terms of this. She's thinking in terms of if I'm putting something out for my friends, I'm getting it to 2 sets at once. So regardless of the daily use, it's there as a content creation outlet. What I'm having trouble sifting through right now is the mind's eye of a program director versus a morning show host versus a dad versus a user. Like across all these platforms, there is an avenue for Facebook. It's a different avenue under each one, but they keep popping up on each one. Like as a program director, I have no use for TikTok or Snapchat, but I do for Facebook and Instagram. As a morning show host, I have no use for Snapchat, but I do for TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. It just as it,
And see, like in being, I'm 60 years old, and I used to be on. I'd check in Facebook 3-4 times every day.
Yeah.
Now I look at it 3 or 4 times a week.
Oh, I've curtailed my Facebook usage greatly as well. But better way to put this, okay? If in one Olympic event, Russia wins the gold and U.S. wins the silver. The next Olympic event, China wins the gold and U.S. wins the silver. The next Olympic event, U.S. wins the gold and Hungary wins the silver. And then the next Olympic event, Australia wins the gold and U.S. wins the silver. When you look at the overall medal count, the U.S. only has one big one, but they've won across the board, right? It's the overall medal count.
Okay.
Time for a look at your forecast. Here is WBRZ meteorologist Marissa Nuzzo. So, anyway, that was Truth Social. Last 30 seconds before we got to start the next hour. Truth Social.
They're in trouble.
Is that what
Their numbers are going up. They've get their user
the headline was
base,
deceptive then?
but so they've got $1.3 billion from this social company, this company that's been trying to invest money into them.
Yeah.
But the SEC has blocked the 1.3
Securities
billion.
and Exchange, not Southeastern Conference.
Yeah, Security Exchange Commission, and they only have enough money to stay alive for about 3 months, and without getting that 1.3 billion dollar released.
And if Donald Trump gets back on Twitter, Truth Social is over with.
Exactly.
Yep. Appreciate you, man.
You bet.